I would want to talk to the public service, and especially the CS, if he survives, Madam Speaker. It's good to advise him if he still retains his position, Madam Speaker. In Dubai, they have a ministry called the Ministry of Happiness. It even have a CS or a cabinet secretary. And people thought the Ministry of Happiness was to have somebody who will come to your house and crack jokes and make you happy. No. And that's why I'm suggesting to the CS Moses Kuria, in your public service, create a department called Happiness Department. Why am I saying that, Madam Speaker? That is to check whether everybody is happy with the services they are getting for the public service. By the time you go to get your passport, Madam Speaker, before you leave that office, there must be somewhere you press to say, I was served well, I was not served well, and this person is very rude. And then it goes direct to the ministry, Madam Speaker. If you go to get your driving license, you must, before you leave that office, were you served well? And then you click somewhere, it goes to the department, not to that office. That office wouldn't even know. They will only know when the PS, the CSs will come to your office knocking, saying, my friend, so many people are complaining, so we get rid of you. Even us, Madam Speaker, I've gone to Israel. And Israel, at the gate of the parliament, when you get in, there's a very big screen that says who is in parliament and who is not. So when you get in there, you'll be able to know whether the person who you sent to parliament to represent you is in or not, Madam Speaker. And it is shown every day. So that we can be able to be here, Madam Speaker, and fight for our people. But sometimes we come in, then we go, we are sitting in the village, we are trying to balance things, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I would want to tell Gen Z, when you are done with the national government, and I believe so far so good because you have been listened to, go to the counties. Go to the counties and join your senator. Pick their hands. Go to the counties. Why am I saying that? Because the governors there, they are using the public money that were deducted from you through the previous finance bill. That money was taken and given to your county. Kiambuu has been given 15 billion within this financial year. But what the governors are doing in those counties, they are giving your mothers and your fathers handouts. I'm talking to Gen Z. They are giving your mother sweet potato vines to go plant, handouts. 2 chicken here, handouts. A fish there, handout. So that your fathers and mothers can think these governors are working. And they do not look at it when these governors are eating into Gen Z's future, Madam Speaker. So that's why I'm saying we should also join hands and ask for accountability. Ask for accountabilities at the county level, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, the issue of employment, and that will be my last point, Madam Speaker. We do have National Employment Authority. We should enhance its mandate. And the mandate is to say, because we are always fighting the wage bill, the mandate is to say, we need to know who is employed where. It should also be somehow devolved, so that when you go to the counties, like Kiambuu County, we pay almost 6 billion per year or more as a wage bill. People are just getting, a governor gets in, employs all his people. Kiambuu, we have had 4 governors. So every governor has employed everyone. And the next governor probably will do the same, Madam Speaker. So the reason why I'm saying the National Employment Authority should have a record of everybody, every person who is employed by a governor should submit their CVs, their documents, their letter of appointment, when they were employed, so that if I want to check, and it played very well here, Madam Speaker, when we were having the impeachment, we asked the governor, did you employ this person? The governor said, I have not employed him. Oh, I have not employed her. But how can this house know? You have no way of knowing, because the governor is the employer and also the custodian of those documents. So they only need to withdraw them. They only need to remove them. They only need to readjust. If you said he was employed as a PA, and maybe he was wrong employing him as a PA, they readjust. They say he was an advisor. So the best thing is to have an agency whereby anybody who is employed by a county, those documents are submitted there. So that if I want to know how many people employed by the governor of Kiambuu, I don't have to go and ask him. I have written to him a letter, reminders and reminders, and he has not given the list of those he calls the liaison officers, Madam Speaker. But if there was this authority, I don't have to write to him. Or just write to the authority, and the authority will give me that information, Madam Speaker. So, Madam Speaker, I call everybody, either Gen Z, either millennials, either Generation X, either the silent generation, which is also in this house, Madam Speaker, because we are lucky we have almost every generation in this house. And that is good for democracy, Madam Speaker, that we should now talk, and we should not run for, fight for simplicity. But we all need to do, all we need to do is fight for the future of this country and make sure that the decisions that we make have consequences that are useful to the coming generation, Madam Speaker. Thank you very much, Madam Speaker.